No sponsor this time, what? Before we get into the next numerical entry, we need to tackle Sonic the Hedgehog CD first. The one game I'm sure every Sonic fan has experienced outside of the console it was originally developed for. It was either the PC release, the one that I think was bundled with Sonic 3D Blast or Sonic R, one of those, or they got their first taste with the Sonic Gems collection on the GameCube. Though now that I think about it, it's likely you first experienced this thanks to the HD remaster. I can see that nowadays, can I? Yeah, it's only been about, what, 10 years? It's been 10 years since the HD remaster came out? Great Scott. Let's get into this though. As the Sega Technical Institute over in America was busy making Sonic 2 for the Genesis, Sega also wanted a Sonic game to give the peripheral, the Sega CD, a killer app to push units. This is the same company that initially thought it was too soon to make a Sonic sequel, and now they wanted 2 games in the span of 2 years. Money talks, and Sega was listening. And if it means anything, you be the judge. While the Sega CD was one of Sega's many flops during this time, Sonic CD ended up being the best-selling game for the add-on at over 1.5 million copies sold. So that's gotta be something, right? No? Alright, let's continue. There's something a little interesting. Sonic CD began life as an enhanced version of Sonic 2, complete with new effects, an upgraded soundtrack, and new levels. The Sonic 2 that was meant to be, you could say, but alas, it wasn't meant to be, because low sales of Sonic 2 in Japan nixed the idea completely. I can only hope the Sonic Tuesday celebration didn't burn too big of a hole in their wallets. Naoto Oshima, now leading the charge for Sonic games in Japan, I guess, after Yuji Naka and the other shifted to STI in America, would act as director for this new Sonic project. He and his team decided, though, that while Sonic 2 was centered on speed, this Sonic game would focus more on exploration, and to help set a foundation, they used the original Sonic the Hedgehog as a basis, which is very obvious if you played Sonic 1 because Sonic CD in many ways is just an enhanced version of Sonic 1. Same Sonic sprites, same shield design, no tails in sight, no Super Sonic, we're back to 3 acts per zone, and those zones are essentially just retooled Sonic 1 levels with more emphasis on alliteration. Palm Tree, Panic, Collision, Chaos, Tidal, Tempest, Quartz, Quadrant, Wacky Workbench, Stardust Speedway, and Metallic Madness. I dig the names though, so I think it worked out. Being on the Sega CD brought some extra perks, of course. There was CD quality music, which I'll get into later. The graphics had never been so colorful. Now there are some zones that are the equivalent of visual vomit when moving at high speeds, but most of the game looks great. The bright palette accrediting the game's overall surreal nature, with darker tones doing well and highlighting the bleak future if you screw things up. The boss battle against Robotnik in the bad future of Tidal Tempest is seriously horrifying given the color palette and gimmick of the encounter. Trapped in a sinister room with limited air? Fuck outta here, no thank you. And like a lot of other Sega CD titles, there were FMVs, animated cutscenes in Sonic CD's case, which look great even after so many years, produced by Studio Junio and Toei Animation. I know most folks are probably used to the higher res cutscenes thanks to the later releases. You get a better view of Sonic jumping across mountains, hopping on water for a brief second, and I think he goes behind the trees here and tugs one out before moving on. However, a part of me still enjoys the original FMV on the Sega CD. The frame rate is choppy as hell, but the video compression makes it look like the whole thing was made with pixels, and you know me, that gets my pixel bias all kinds of hot and bothered, makes me want to go behind a tree, and you get the idea. Anywho, for the story, it's just as simple as the others. It's said that for 1 month every year, the mysterious Little Planet will appear over Never Lake. Little Planet is said to hold magical relics known as Time Stones that allow control over the flow of time itself to whoever can wield all 7 of them. This gets Dr. Robotnik's attention, as it would, and like clockwork, he begins his quest for planetary domination, collecting the Time Stones for himself and using the planet's natural resources to power his robotic army. All Sonic games before had a nature versus technology theme to them, but I think with Sonic CD it's the most apparent. Sonic says wind energy is clean energy. Fuck those birds. Sonic just so happened to be traveling to Never Lake to see Little Planet for himself, and after witnessing Robotnik literally chaining Little Planet to the ground like a gargantuan chain chomp, Sonic does his Sonic thing and heads into Little Planet to stop the Doctor. And joining him for about 2 stages is newcomer Amy Rose, a young girl with a gigantic crush on the Blue Hedgehog. I don't know how the hell you develop feelings for someone who never stays the fuck still. Maybe it was the Sonic 1 promotional dance, who knows. But she's quickly kidnapped by the second newcomer of the series, Metal Sonic, Robotnik's latest attempt in creating a Sonic doppelganger, sharing the same color scheme this time for one thing, and rocking a much slimmer design compared to Silver Sonic's absolute unit of a frame. Using Sonic 1 as a basis, Sonic CD really is just a souped-up recreation of the original game. Remarkably similar level themes, the same power-ups as before, and you even enter special stages the same way, needing 50 rings by the end of the stage. Sonic, however, does have some new skills. The spin dash is here, but this right here ain't the Sonic 2 spin dash. This is more like the Japanese and American team didn't exchange notes during development sort of spin dash. It's nowhere near as snappy as Sonic 2, considering that you can't even take off without fully revving up the spin. Let go of the buttons any sooner and Sonic won't go anywhere. It's awkward, and something I'm glad the HD version fixes by giving us the Sonic 2 version. It's unlikely you're even using this anyway though, seeing as Sonic CD was also the first game to bring the super peel out. It's not really different than the spin dash mechanically, you just hold up instead of holding down as you mash buttons. But visually it's pretty neat watching Sonic's feet become a figure 8 and zooming away with high speeds. Then you immediately hold down the roll into a ball to make sure you don't crash headfirst into a robot, which is why, again, I don't think it's that mechanically different than the spin dash, but it's faster on takeoff, so I find it the superior skill. And one that you need to get a good feel for if you're looking to get the best possible ending of Sonic CD. Okay, so like I said earlier, the Sonic CD devs wanted to put more emphasis on exploration for Sonic CD. They did this by incorporating a time travel mechanic, which, fun fact, was something that was originally planned for Sonic 2 before it got scrapped. So while Sonic CD may not be the enhanced version of Sonic 2 as originally envisioned, it's cool that it's still utilizing some of Sonic 2's unused concepts. Similar to, I want to say, going after the Chaos Emerald in Sonic Chaos. If you remember what I said in that video, utilizing time travel and exploring these zones is how you're going to get the most out of this game. Playing Sonic CD like a normal Sonic game quickly highlights the extreme emphasis on vertical level design that doesn't last long at all if you jump past all of it holding right and speeding on by. Yes, levels are still filled with all the traditional Sonic stuff like rings and power-ups, so in some way, you can play this like your average Sonic game, but you might notice some peculiar level design that makes no sense at all. Straight up nonsensical shit like rings being inside walls or item boxes that are impossible to reach. Is the game broken? Is this what they call Little Planet Fever? Given that some stages have oceans on the ceiling, that might be the case, but no, it's just the game pushing you to use time travel. Every zone has a past, present, and future variation. The past being the stage at its most primal, a combination of lush greenery and mechanical contraptions, but still plastered with traps and badniks looking to plant their roots. The present is standard Sonic design. Colors are bright, rings are plentiful, but obstacles and hazards rear their ugly heads at some real inopportune times, and given Sonic CD's mostly vertical level design as I've said, there could be occasions where robots blindside you from above while you're looking for goodies. The future can either be a visual utopia filled with a serene aesthetic absolutely bleeding with surreal colors, or it could be depression. It all depends on Sonic's actions. To ensure a good future for Little Planet, Sonic must use time travel to travel back to the past and destroy these robot generators. You achieve this by touching the appropriate time post and traveling at a high speed for a certain amount of distance until Sonic does some serious shit and warps to a specific time. And yes, this was inspired by Back to the Future, Naoto Oshima confirmed it himself in the interview, and let's just say, I really hope these sparkles following Sonic are not made of plutonium. So, the time traveling. I'm down with the idea, but this is the element that makes or breaks the game for people. Needing to stay at a consistent speed for a certain time requires a combination of good timing, knowledge of the level design so you know the best place to make the attempt, and most importantly, luck. Because sometimes, God, especially in the original version, the collision detection could just put a stop to whatever time traveling shenanigans you had in mind. I speeded too fast. It's also a battle of nerves and reflexes. First, you have to find a past post so that you travel to the past when you take off, for one thing. Then when you do find it, you gotta make sure you don't touch any future posts that overwrite the past status. Unless you already broke the generator or got the time stones, nothing good ever comes out of the future. Robot generators can only be found in the past. And then after all that, after you found the past post when you avoided the future post, you gotta make sure you properly time travel at all. And if you screw up, you lose your time travel power and have to find another post, which there are a finite number of. It's strange because with every stage having multiple time travel posts so that you have multiple opportunities to time travel, this sort of makes Sonic CD's level progression, when you're going for the good ending anyway, rigid? It's hard to describe. An exploration-based Sonic game means frequently traveling forward and backwards, upwards and downwards instead of just progressing in one direction. With some stages, you can be here for a while trying to get the robot generators, and some of them are hidden behind some particularly nonsensical puzzles. The one in Wacky Workbench Act 1 is always my primo example because you have to stand on top of this thing that looks like it can crush you. By principle, it should be able to crush you. But it's actually just something that leads you down a secret tube. Dick move, Wacky Workbench, and this stage is already making me bounce uncontrollably like an over-caffeinated child. Not even Sonic enjoys it. Look at him all wide-eyed and filled with anxiety. Metallic Madness Act 2 is a bitch and a half to travel in if you're generator hunting. I think the level is just straight up impossible to complete in the past because of this one area having an impassable wall block in the way. And because it's so awkward to time travel in this stage at all on top of the posts being so scattered, just do yourself a favor. Once you do get the generator, just lose a life and reset the stage and time travel back to the present there. You'll save yourself a bunch of time. Not the greatest level design. But if I'm playing Sonic CD, I am the sort that goes after the generators, because despite the jank, I get a sense of fulfillment successfully traveling in time and blowing these things up. I get to see different variations of different zones. And when I really feel like it, sometimes I'll blow up a generator, travel to the present, and then travel to the future because now it's good, and I can bask in the utopia I helped create it. It's repetitive, but it doesn't take up that much time, seeing that Sonic CD is also an incredibly short journey. Like Sonic 2, you can beat it in under an hour, even less so if you ignore the time traveling. And if you really want to ignore the time traveling, you can still get the best ending by collecting the 7 time stones, which you collect like Chaos Emeralds. I'm guessing this was the team's way of catering the Sonic fan who want a more traditional experience, because like Sonic 1 you only need 50 rings at the end of the stage and enter the giant ring if you want an opportunity to nab them. And these special stages, I can take or leave. It's not the half pipe, but man is it clunky. You have to break all the UFOs in the allotted time. The controls are stiff as shit, standing in water drains time, and these UFOs, I swear to Christ I should be hitting these fuckers, but the game will just say, nope, that didn't count. The UFOs can be fickle little shits too. I know they follow a set path, but with the stiff controls and high speed, it's easy to think they just do whatever the hell they want. I don't normally bother with the time stones. The robot generators are perfectly fine with me. And I mean, have you seen some of these stages? Some have amazingly cool backgrounds. Like, I want to know the story behind these locales. Is that Jupiter? Where the hell is Little Planet normally? Then you got this one where it's just Robotnik's face. And then you got, jeez, the 90s running amok. God damn, why? God, it legit hurts my eyes. I'm out of here. Gonna make like Sonic here after waiting around for 3 minutes and cause a game over. What a prick. It wouldn't be a Sonic CD video if I didn't talk about the music though. So Sonic CD would see release in September of 1993 in Japan, Europe getting it a month later, with America not getting it until November of 1993. And this wasn't because of localization stuff or anything of the sort. No, Sega decided that the American release needed a completely different soundtrack composed by Spencer Nielsen and David Young. And I never quite got that. I mean, I got nothing against the American soundtrack, but why did Sega suddenly find it necessary to completely change the music? I'm just more confused by the decision because to my knowledge, this is the only time they did this for Sonic. The early 90s were a weird time. I'm American, so let's start with the American soundtrack first. It's fine. My first experience with Sonic CD was the PC version. I played it in the late 90s around the same time I got to play Sonic R and Sonic 3D Blast on the PC. And even back then I remember this soundtrack not driving with me like the other Genesis games. It's a more atmospheric score that's in one part moody and sinister, putting greater emphasis on Robotnik's goal of taking over Little Planet, and another part something you'd hear in a 90s Animal Planet special. Snarky critique aside, this soundtrack did give us Sonic Boom. I think that's a legitimately great piece of music. I also enjoy the present version of Title Tempest. Very funky, same reason why I like the present version of Wacky Workbench. The Bad Future rendition is just as groovy too, even if the lyrics make no sense to me. Hoo-wah-hee. Hoo-wah-hee. The special stage music, that's a great piece too. One of the few I enjoy more than the Japanese counterpart. If I have to deal with these, I at least know I have some great music to supplement my endeavor. Nothing against Spencer Nielsen and David Young, but the American Sonic CD soundtrack just isn't my cup of tea. That's more of my preferences though, and I'm sure they put out other great tracks like Ooh, never mind, they reek of sin. The Japanese soundtrack, on the other hand, composed by Naofumi Hataya and Masafumi Ogata. Alright, time to go full weeb, as the kids say likely. This is one of my favorite soundtracks in all of Sonic, one that has stood the test of time with flying colors. For the longest time, Sonic Adventure was my favorite soundtrack. Just to be clear, it's still top 3. But when I finally got to hear the Japanese tracks to Sonic CD, and this was years later after I first played the game, it was love at first listen. But I guess I was technically exposed to the music a while before I even got to play the Japanese version proper, because no matter what version of Sonic CD you're playing, American, European, or Japanese, the past music of every stage was exactly the same, given that the music was sequenced in the console's hardware and not CD quality. And I remember in my earliest memories of Sonic CD that the past tracks were the ones I was actually bopping my head to the most. Little did I know I was listening to the remnants of the soundtrack we Americans didn't get at first. It's hard to put into words why I love the Japanese soundtrack so fucking much, but it exemplifies everything I love about Sonic the Hedgehog as a concept. It's positive and bouncy, it has a cool attitude, it explodes with energy no matter if you're in the past, present, or future. You may be noticing that I'm not naming specific tracks, and that's because my choice is all. Yeah, I love the whole fucking thing. I'll say it again, all. It's not as moody as the American soundtrack, and I understand the sound that sort of undermines Robotnik's menace as a would-be conqueror. This dude's trying to conquer Little Planet, but here I am fighting him in a workout treadmill with some remixed Xavier music. The funk is strong in this music. Damn, I love it so much. It's about as Sonic as you can get. Classic Sonic, I should probably specify, because I know modern Sonic is more associated with rock and other aggressive genres. This music, though, perfectly complements what I think is the best iteration of the Hedgehog in his entire career. Yeah, I stand by that. Sonic CD Sonic is best Sonic, effortlessly bouncing through all of Robotnik's contraptions with a demeanor that's in equal parts cool and cute. Look at that smug son of a bitch. This shot of him looking at Little Planet vanishing and then posing for the camera is one of my favorite shots in all of Sonic. And I know it's such a little thing, but I love it so much. And the song that accompanies it, Cosmic Eternity, that is the sweet icing on that delicious cake. If you're a fan of Sonic and haven't experienced the Japanese soundtrack, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. Listen to it now, it's all over YouTube, and while you're at it, listen to the Sonic the Hedgehog remix album too. That was an official Sonic CD arrangement album composed by Naofumi Hataya and Masafumi Ogata. Who better than the actual composers, am I right? I was looking forward to reviewing Sonic CD just on the music alone, being real. Like the game it was built upon, Sonic CD isn't one of my favorites, but if I had to choose between this and Sonic 1, well then CD easily wins just by virtue of having the Japanese soundtrack. I'm not kidding, good music can do a lot to carry what's otherwise a perfectly average 2D Sonic game. I like time traveling and breaking robot generators, but that has its share of problems like I said, and playing the game like a standard Sonic game isn't nearly as fulfilling as Sonic 2 because of the level design putting too much emphasis on meandering exploration. You can finish most stages in under a minute just holding right and jumping otherwise. It's got great moments. The boss fights against Robotnik are pretty neat, where instead of trying to bop him 8 times, you're trying to find the means to hurt him at all. Not exactly something you speed through in repeated playthroughs unless it's the first boss, because I can't think of a boss that's more pathetic. And some are questionable in design. The pinball boss is something you either finish in 30 seconds or 30 minutes. There's absolutely no reason why Robotnik needed to surround himself in bubbles in Tidal Tempest. Just wait a few seconds, let Sonic drown, my dude. The race against Metal Sonic and Stardust Speedway, though, is iconic. I barely win every single time, running into every spike imaginable, but what a first impression for Metal Sonic to leave behind. These encounters may not be the standard flair, but they are unique and give Sonic CD its own identity. There's also Amy Rose. She doesn't do shit in this game, she's just a princess in need of rescuing. And in the American manual, she's even mistakenly called Princess Sally. Someone didn't give a fuck. But Sonic CD was her debut, and the Amy fans, I'd imagine that's pretty significant. I wouldn't mind classic Amy being a thing in the next Sonic Mania or whatever 2D Sonic game is up next, if any. Outside of Sonic the Fighters and R, we never really got to see classic Amy do anything that wasn't a ROM hack. It's just some food for thought. I wouldn't recommend playing the original Sonic CD nowadays when the superior HD remaster is simply better and easily more available. Crisp visuals, optimal performance, the option to pick both soundtracks, widescreen support, a better spin dash. The choice is obvious, unless, I don't know, you like looking up those weird images you get in the sound test. That Sonic movie sequel do be looking pretty hot. There's also whatever the hell this shit is in front of the Japanese cover. To live a life of power, you must have faith that what you believe is right, even if others tell you you're wrong. I would argue that it depends on what you're currently believing in, but whatever. The first thing you must do to live a life of power is to find courage. You must be ready to reach beyond the boundaries of time itself, and to do that, all you need is the will to take that first step.
Or something like that.
Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I'll see you guys with the next video. As always, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask if you decide to go outside, get vaccinated if possible. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.